Brandis, they're the unwanted invaders that have cost billions to keep away. The latest effort to keep Asian carp out of the Great Lakes is getting a $226 million federal boost. It'll go toward planning and engineering of the Brandon Road Lock and Dam invasive carp barrier. But much more funding is required to finish the project. Last month, a coalition of Great Lakes governors, including J.B. Pritzker, signed a letter stating they were tapped out and needed the federal government to fund the project. And joining us now to discuss the threat invasive carp pose and the Brandon Road project are Colonel Jesse T. Curry, commander of the Rock Island District of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, which is where the dam and lock is located. Mark Smith, Great Lakes Policy Director at the National Wildlife Federation, and Margaret Frisbee, Executive Director of Friends of the Chicago River. Welcome all of you to Chicago tonight. Mark, I'll start with you. Our viewers are very well aware of the problem of invasive carp, but remind everyone the threat that they pose to the Great Lakes.
Sure. Well, invasive carp are essentially a big threat to the Great Lakes, and they're a big threat to a lot of the waterways in our country. They were brought in to the country in the late 70s, early 80s to eat the algal ponds in the south. And they, through flooding, got into the Arkansas River, got into the Mississippi River, and eventually swam their way further north up into the Illinois River, up into Peoria, and are at the gates of the Great Lakes. And the big problem with invasive carp that we know about is that they outcompete all the native fish that we really care about. So the game fish that we fish for, the smallmouth bass, the panfish that the kids catch, that is at risk because in certain stretches of the river systems up in and around Peoria, invasive carp can accumulate to almost 90% and above of the fish biomass in certain stretches. So they just outcompete, they eat all the food sources. And then as we know, if you go on YouTube, you can see them jumping out everywhere. So right. Threat is real. We don't need them in the Great Lakes. We have a $7 billion sport fishery, a $15 billion boating industry. We don't need these in the Great Lakes.
And Margaret Frisbee, they're knocking at the door of the Great Lakes. They have been for many years, but they're everywhere in the Illinois River, especially down near Peoria. How have they changed the biodiversity and the ecology of the Illinois River system?
Well, the fact is, like Mark alluded to, they can present 90% of the fish in the river system can be Asian carp, invasive carp. And so they're outcompeting the fish. They scoot along the bottom. They can destroy habitat for native fish. And it's not just the Illinois River. The fear is that the Chicago River system, the Calumet River system, and rivers all the way around the Great Lakes would be infested with these creatures. And so we're really determined to use all the techniques at our fingertips to stop it.
And Colonel Jesse T. Curry, as we mentioned, the feds have come through in this infrastructure bill with $226 million for the Brandon Road Lock and Dam. Tell us how this project will work.
Yes, Paris, thanks. As this latest investment stands as a significant milestone for this particular project. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and specifically the Rock Island District, has been working for more than a year at the pre-construction engineering and design. And what this funding does is it gives us the ability to start driving forward towards actual construction. So as they put together the features of this particular project, we are working to develop this layered defense against this invasive species that, again, will help protect the ecosystem and the biodiversity in the Illinois River.
And Mark Smith, despite that big chunk of federal money, that might only make up about a quarter of the funding that will ultimately be needed to finish this. So where will the state get that funding?
Well, that's the question. And the good thing is that with last week's announcement that the federal government will pick up the bill for the first year of construction, that's very helpful, make the project be seamless from the end of the design phase into the first year of construction. The problem is the non-federal sponsor, in this case, Illinois, would have to come up with the remainder of the percentage of the cost. So I think the big picture here we really need is that this is not an Illinois problem. It's really not a Great Lakes problem. It's a national problem. And all the more reason why the federal government really should come in here. It's a multiple district, multiple state, multiple jurisdictional problem. Perfect role for the federal government to come in and cover the entire cost, because this is a national issue, and Illinois should not be the full, just because it's in their state doesn't mean they have to pay the full price to this. And there's precedent for this. Projects like this are paid for by the federal government. So this is consistent with previous projects.
As you mentioned, Michigan has jumped in with some funding as well because it affects all the Great Lakes states. Margaret Frisbee, Will Illinois be able to keep Asian carp out of the Great Lakes without the completion of this project?
Well, I think not. I think this project's imperative, and smart technologies that we know can work against aquatic invasives are imperative. We've seen so much recovery of our river systems. You know, the Chicago River system, for example, had 7 species of fish in the 1970s. Now we're nearly up to 80. And we want to make sure that we're protecting all of our water environments equally. And this is a really good way to do it. There's other techniques, you know, we've talked about, you know, fishing the carp out for fertilizer, for food, but we really need to work on keeping them out altogether in really determined fashion, like the Army Corps has proposed here at Brandon Road.
And Colonel Jesse, take us inside the technology used at Brandon Road. How does it keep invasive carp out, but not other species of fish that are welcome to swim to the Great Lakes if they so choose?
Yeah, thanks. That's a great question, because where we currently stand in engineering and design is evaluating a variety of different technologies, from electric barriers to bubblers to acoustic deterrents, and determining how in this, you know, nationally unique project, those working together can reduce and eliminate the ability for the invasive species to make it through a particular location like this. So we're still working on through that science, and we certainly are respectful of the urgency to get that science complete so we can start getting it into the actual lock and dam and building that layered defense that we spoke about earlier.
Mark Smith, is there a consensus in the wildlife community or the science community in terms of which science works the best here?
Well, yes and no. The beauty of Brandon Road that it's actually is going to be an experimental project that we can actually put in different types of technologies and see the effectiveness of it. I mean, it's as the Colonel mentioned, it's a layered approach. You can put in multiple deterrents that add up to a large effectiveness. And you know, some of the lock and dam projects, acoustic sounds in the river systems that are being used in Kentucky, for example, could be brought up to Brandon Road and vice versa. So the Corps really has an opportunity here to use this project as a testing ground, a pilot program, if you will, to deploy in other parts of the country to keep back invasive species. So it's a really, really unique and needed project.
And Margaret Frisbee, very briefly, you mentioned possibly commercial fishermen fishing them out, people eating them. How helpful would that be?
Well, you know, DNR, the Illinois Department of Natural Resources, has paid fishermen. They have tried to build markets. And that's certainly a tool in the arsenal, but it's not something that we want to rely on. You know, these fish are healthy. They're good for you. We should be eating them. We should all be eating more fish anyway, right? So there are local efforts, but we want to make sure that we use every single technology at our disposal. And, you know, I, for one, we've friends at the Chicago River, we've tried to educate people about Asian carp, and we've held Asian carp grills on the Chicago River Walk downtown so people can try it and build awareness and, you know, maybe think differently about these fish. But we just need to make sure that we're doing everything we can and not just relying on one technique.
All right, and we've reported here at Chicago tonight on the statewide effort to change the identity of the Asian carp, change the name to make it more friendly for people to want to eat them possibly. So a lot of tools here, as you mentioned, Margaret. And our thanks to Colonel Jesse T. Curry, Mark Smith, and Margaret Frisbee. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paris.